This is Patty, and we will be starting in just a second. Okay, I think I'm on the One Great Work Network right now. Apologize for the technical difficulties. So, what I'm showing you right now is a picture of a sweet potato, a sweet potato plant. And I want to share with you how this came to be planted in my garden. So I'm going to show you a different picture that I have of what this looked like, kind of from its inception, because it's kind of interesting how sweet potatoes, how those are grown. And it's so easy to grow sweet potatoes. This is not sweet potato. Let me change to this picture. So sweet potatoes, you can, if you have an organic sweet potato, okay, like this is an organic purple sweet potato that we're looking at right here. I have several of them. And what I did was I stuck a few toothpicks in the, and it has to be organic, by the way, because if it's not organic, they spray these sweet potatoes so that they will not produce the growth. So what I did here was I put some toothpicks into this sweet potato. I have several, like I said. And then you just stick the bottom into some water. And then the remainder of it is above water. And you'll notice roots start to form. So you can see kind of at the bottom of the glass those white roots. And then you start seeing these little nubs. And then they bloom into full leaves. And that's not it. Let's come back here. So here's another purple sweet potato. The last couple of years I've just done regular sweet potatoes. But for whatever reason, my regular sweet potatoes that I had that were organic weren't budding out. So only my purple ones did. And that's fine because I like purple sweet potatoes and I feed those to my dogs quite often. And what you do is you take, when they're, pretty long, like this one's pretty long, you just you can either cut it off or you can kind of twist it off. And then you place it in, you place the stem after you remove it from the purple sweet potato or a regular sweet potato, and you put that stem in another jar until the bottom of the stem grows roots. And after it's got, some pretty good root system, then you can plant this into your garden and you will get tons of sweet potatoes. So I'm only mentioning this because I think, being self-sufficient, learning how to grow your own food, and it's basically free. I mean, you might have had to pay for the first sweet potato. The first organic sweet potato, you might have had to pay for that. But after that, you grow them. And then you can, save your harvest. And what I do is I use some of the sweet potatoes from last year's harvest to grow this year's harvest. So it is a great way to be less dependent on the system and to truly connect to the food that you are consuming or that you are eating for your nourishment. And I think that's, a theme I want to get into, and that is connection. I think one of the major sicknesses on our planet, and especially in Western countries like the United States, is that we have a lack of connection. And humans aren't connecting with one another. Humans aren't connecting with where their food's coming from, with, where anything that they use on a daily basis, where is it really coming from? And I think this lack of connection is creating illnesses. Mental illness, and then, even if we look at other spheres of illness, it is profound. The human body, and any living body, has not just the physical, but it also has kind of an astral and an etheric form, which, if you look at some of the occult teachings, you will learn more about this. And I'm going to share with you a book that I've been reading. If you watch Mark Passio's Sunday podcast, he shared the last couple of podcasts a website. Maybe I'll put it up here right now. It's called Library Genesis. And this is a website where you can download many books. So it's Library Genesis. I think the one you want is .is. That's the one I was using. Yeah. So libgen.is. And you can just type in, I think Mark Passio was looking at like thalamic books. Thalama, that was kind of his major topic over the past few weeks. Which, some people, when they think of thalama, they think of Aleister Crowley, and then they start going down that rabbit hole. But, thalama is a very kind of like Freemasonry and Rosicrucianism and all of that. It's just a system of knowing about reality and tapping into powers that humans have not been open to in the past. So check some of this out. Type in topics that you probably won't be able to find on Google. This is, as Mark Passio says, this is part of the dark web. So, well, anyway, let me show you a book that I'm going to share with you that I downloaded from this website. So it's Occult Medicine and Practical Magic, and the author is Samuel on Weor, and I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. But we're going to look at this book. I've been reading it this past week, and I find it incredibly fascinating. So when you put the topic in the search engine, this one only comes up with one finding. Usually, depending on how you type in your search, you might get a bunch of different titles here. But since I was pretty specific with the title of the book and the author, it gave me one list. And what you do is you click on the title, and then it gives you different options of where you can download it from. Mark Passio recommends using the This Mirror link, but there are others. Here is this is the cover to the book, Occult Medicine and Practical Magic. Very fascinating thus far. And then you click on this mirror and click Get. Now, I've already downloaded this book, so I might just open it up from my online books that I save things under. And here it is. This is the book, Occult Medicine and Practical Magic. And this is, so right now, I think, where am I? I'm around page 50 or so. So I've only done a little bit of reading in the evenings. It's finals week. Actually, I just entered my grades, and so I'm done teaching for the spring semester. Thank you, Jesus. And I have a summer semester beginning in June, but it didn't give me a lot of time to read. But, there are some very interesting topics covered in this book. And the thing I like about it is that the author, as I will share with you in just a second, really does understand a lot of what I've been talking about with, my live streams. And that is that we have to connect to truth and nature to really find health. So there were some really profound quotes from this author. And I've actually been copying and pasting many of these quotes to save them. And I'm going to go over this. I like this paragraph just stands out right off the bat. The great horror of humanity, or the great horror which he refers to as humanity, has been deadly wounded. A breath of war escapes from the bottom of the abyss. It is an omen of disgrace. The official science of allopathy, which was satirized from the time of Molor until the time of Bernard Shaw, has declared itself infallible, and its false pontificates are persecuting the apostles of God. I mean, I really like this author. I really like him. Now, there are a few, I think, because this is, off of the dark web, if you will, I do see in this book some spelling errors. Like I assume here he is meaning to write homeopaths, not honeopaths. But he even kind of lumps together, allopathic physicians with even natural types of practitioners who are working under an allopathic type of mentality. Because many people, my age, older, younger, we have been indoctrinated into this system of allopathic medicine. Meaning that, for every ill, there's a pill. Well, maybe that pill is a pharmaceutical drug, or maybe that pill is an herb. Maybe that pill is a pellet, like a homeopathic remedy. And the mentality of treating the body in that way is that people just want, kind of the quick fix. Now, I will say, if you're going to pick one of these, if we just look at this paragraph right here, I would stay away from psychiatrists as much as possible. In the allopathic community, psychiatrists are some of the most evil, and I do mean evil people. They are just, they do not have any care. They might be very intellectual, but they're not intelligent. Mark Passio talks about the term intelligence is a combination of the word intellect and the generative principle, which is care. And a person that has intelligence is using care in their actions and in their thoughts. A person that does not use care, their actions can be deadly. Their actions can hurt many people. And psychiatrists fall in that category. They do not care about, the people they're going to be affecting their entire life by prescribing certain psychoactive drugs. And I know this very intimately because I have a close family member who, for the past 20 plus years, has been addicted to these psychoactive drugs. One of which are benzodiazepines. He can't even get off of it now. And I've been working after I left medical school. I've been working as a detoxification specialist under the guidance of Dr. Robert Morse. If you don't know who Dr. Robert Morse is, check him out, please. He very passionate man. He thinks very similar to what I'm talking about now with regards to how to truly help the body heal. And, the main gist of helping the body heal is to detoxify. Toxemia is the number one cause of dis-ease. Toxemia. Even more recent great naturalists like Arnold Ehret and Herbert Shelton, many of the natural hygiene types of practitioners, they all saw that there was a toxicity within the body that creates irritation, and this irritation, when it's living long-term in tissue spaces, in organs, it leads to inflammation, and then chronic inflammation leads to tissue change, including things like cancer and loss of function. So, by removing that original toxin, you can hopefully not get to the point of where you're, developing cancers and other tissue changes. That's the whole goal. Toxemia. You need to get rid of the toxins. Psychiatrists and allopaths are putting toxins into your system. A lot of what the toxins allopaths use are just suppressing symptoms, not really getting to the root cause. Yeah, they can give you a drug to take the pain away or to kill the bacteria. Antibiotics are very popular with allopaths. Keep in mind, though, that the bacteria are not the problem. They're helping to get rid of the problem, which is the toxemia. The bacteria show up because their job is to gobble up and to clean out the toxicity. Blaming the bacteria for your chronic or symptom set of symptoms, like your inflammation, is like blaming the firefighters for the fire. Yeah, firefighters always are around when there's a fire, right? But they're not the cause of the fire. They didn't cause the fire. They're there to put out the fire. And if you start shooting up all of the firemen when they're, hosing down a fire, you're never really getting to the root cause of the problem, right? So allopaths, they've got some issues. But even worse than that. And, psychiatrists are part of allopathic medicine. Keep that in mind. And that's, when I was in medical school, I was really contemplating psychiatry as what I was going to go into. It was either psychiatry or emergency medicine. I know they